Hello, everybody. This is Helena Hutton with Cummins. Welcome to Season 3 of the Backstage Pass podcast. We have seen firsthand how people, businesses, and ideas can strengthen our communities. Cummins embraces its pivotal role in addressing its environmental impact and supporting the communities where we are located. By partnering with others, we can explore new opportunities together. Join Cummins, NAWBO-Indy, and our guests as we share stories and ideas on how to shape the world. Along with my partner, Leanne Richardson from NAWBO-Indy, we look forward to making this a journey for all of us to experience together. Thank you for listening.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's episode. We are really happy to have here a special guest. My name is Diana Salazar. I support Cummins Procurement Organization with a focus on environmental sustainability. So I'll just get right to it. We're really excited to have our special guest. I'm thrilled to announce Catherean Mitchell. Catherine is a dedicated mother of three, a loving wife, a dynamic woman, and an accomplished business owner. She has a personal mission to revolutionize the transportation industry, and she ensures that transportation and logistic companies are well prepared for the innovations that come with being small business owners, entrepreneurship, and fleet owners. Catherine owns a fleet of trucks and is an early adopter of electric vehicles and alternative energy semi-trucks. Welcome, Catherine. It's really great to have you here.
Yes, thank you very much for that incredible introduction, Diana. I'm really happy to be here. Hello, everyone. I'm Catherean Mitchell. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Mitchell's Transport. We specialize in transportation and logistics, and our corporate partners value our services because we have diverse trailers and trucks that we utilize where we haul commodities such as containers, dirt and gravel, as well as we do LTL in and out of the different maritimes, as well as across Northern and Southern California. And we have expanded our services to be statewide.
One of the reasons that we want to talk to you is because of your sustainability portion of your business. Can we also talk about that and let us know a little bit of how you built the foundation to start your own business?
Absolutely. So in 2018, myself and my husband thought it would be a great idea to take all of our savings and dump it into the trucking industry. Well, it actually didn't happen like that. Well, we started our trucking company in 2018 as a way to be able to actually spend more time together as a family unit. From there, it expanded into us not just learning about the trucking industry as owner operators, but deciding to give other opportunities to other individuals who wanted to work for a great employer. And so we became what we didn't see. And with that being said, one of the things that we first started launching within our own organization was kind of like a care package for our truckers. And so when someone is onboarded into our business, they have not just one welcome package, but two. So they have a welcome package for the truck, which is all of the essentials that the truck needs. And then they have a welcome package for themselves. Because, of course, when you are entering into the trucking industry as a driver, you have long hours no matter if you're over the road or not. And so that's one of the things that we have been so successful at onboarding drivers and keeping them because of how we treat our people in our company.
Let's talk about your services and your business. You said you're in state, but aren't you doing business abroad and throughout the U.S.?
So Mitchell's Transport is our asset-based company in which we do, hauling all across California, Oregon, Arizona, and also Nevada. As well as we have a subsidiary company called Mitchell's Logistics, where we do go abroad and we do transport and we do intermodal and we facilitate the entire shipment from A to Z. And so for our logistics company, there is no limit on where we will go and the type of market that we will touch. As it pertains to our trucking company, we keep our assets close to be able to ensure that we're offering the best service to our clients. Because again, when you have your assets everywhere, you can't keep the most care of your assets. And we really hone in on creating strategic partnerships that will provide the same value to our clients as we do. So that's why we have expanded our services to offer not just local, not just stateside, but also worldwide and abroad.
So how are you supporting some of these other companies with some of the services that you're offering there at Mitchell Transport?
Yes. So the companies that are directly supported by Mitchell's Transport is getting the best customer service. They're getting the around the clock care, as well as they're having their fleet to be not only protected, but having it to be on a timely schedule. And they have a tracking number. So for us, similar to how you have like the FedExes or you have the large companies of the world that are able to give a tracking number to their clients, we do the same thing, but we also have a human component to where all they have to do is give us a call or log into a link and they will be able to see their package in real time. So we do use advanced technology such as blockchain that allow us to be able to give them the best service and security.
So don't you have some other services that you're providing to these trucking companies to help them with certification and, other opportunities that you're helping them to really grow their businesses?
Yes, we do. We offer an array of services at Mitchell's Logistics. One of the services that we offer is certification preparation. And so oftentimes when you are a small business owner and you do not know, what certifications to get or how to utilize them, you may obtain them. And once you obtain them, you don't know what to do with them. And so we debunk the myth that getting a certification means contract. A lot of individuals believe that, okay, I'm going to get this DBE certification, SBE, LBE, LGBTQ certification, and the list goes on, right? All of the alphabet certification. And that means that they're going to obtain a contract. But unfortunately, that couldn't be furthest from the truth. And so one of the things that we do is we actually work with the company where they are, and we support them with creating a roadmap. It starts from our Pathway to Success program, where they're not only identifying their unique proposition, but they're also identifying their dream target audience and their target market. And so oftentimes you have a company that says, I will work with anybody who will work with me. But that's very broad. And so we help them to narrow it down. We support them with building out their capability statement. And sometimes just like a resume, when you're getting, your hands fresh out of high school, you don't have much to put on your resume. But the thing is, it's about the visual and it's about the core competencies as well as the key differentiators that allow some of the businesses to get work, even though they're a startup. And so we work with startups in depth to ensure that when they're coming out, that their visibility is increased, as well as they're presenting themselves in the best light. Not only do we support them with the certification process, which, again, I amassed over 15 certifications within a limit of about 2 years. So I myself support with certifications, right? We also support them with alternative funding, such as obtaining grants. Oftentimes, individuals think that only nonprofitable organizations have to, obtain grants, or you have to be in business for 2 years or 3 years to obtain a grant. Well, that couldn't be further from the truth. In 2020 is when I wrote my first grant. And from there, I have found a lot of success. And of course, communicating why a organization would like to choose my business or other businesses to be able to fund. So we support them with alternative funding too, to get started in the industry.
Wow, sounds like great opportunities for you. And it sounds like this could lead really well into Diana talking about mentorship.
Yeah. And, I'm actually very curious and I want to go a little bit back in time and ask about how you came to know the business development that Cummins offers when you were beginning your process of starting your own business. If we can talk about that, and then we'll jump back into mentorship and how you got started.
So one of the things that I'll say is in 2020, as mentioned, before pandemic, I knew nothing about grants. Literally didn't even know what a grant was. And so when the pandemic happened, of course, you now have all of the knowledge, right? Because you have nothing but time. You're sitting at home, you're staring at your refrigerator. And you're like, what else can I do besides stare at my refrigerator? But needless to say, you're at home, you're researching. For me, I'm really big on researching. So interesting enough, I actually did a ton of research to be able to identify what is grants, and I always love to write. So one of the things that attracted me to the grant was the writing process, which typically scares a lot of people away. That attract me because I'm like, wait, I get to write a story every single time. And so being able to write a story out how I felt like I was the best applicant, how my business was the best applicant, was really rewarding for me, as well as a very great thing that I utilized when connecting with Cummins. So in 2022, I have so many certifications as mentioned. And so one of the agencies that I was a part of was WeBank. And being a part of WeBank, you have access to a plethora of activities as well as educational programs, and then access to alternative capital such as grants. So I applied, being a woman of color, I applied to a grant that Cummings had for small business owners in the STEM industry. And so fun fact about me is I actually am a student of life. And so I take that very seriously, to where I still was a student while running my company. And so in 2022, while attending college, I qualified because not only was I a woman of color, right? Check that box. And not only was I a student, but I also was a small business owner. And so for me, being a small business owner, I now had to advocate why I deserve to be a recipient of the grant. And one of the reasons why I had to just kind of, again, you have to realize, sometimes we don't pay attention to what we can accomplish because we always try to fit ourselves into small boxes. And so with identifying that I was in the STEM industry, because I hauled dirt, sand, gravel, general construction material, as well as I was project managing our entire logistical process for our company. And so I advocated, and I don't think that they thought that I was advocating, but like they don't know. Like I advocated for me to be able to fit within that space, because trucking is a support. So they think as truckers as tier 2 contractors, subcontractors for the most part. And so we're not the direct contractor for in STEM, but because of the civil engineering components that we work on, infrastructure, hauling, as well as, of course, dirt, sand, gravel, general construction, and then also not to mention when we're bidding on contracts, when I bid on contracts, I am using mathematics. Okay, so I am STEM all around. So advocating for that allowed me to be a recipient of a grant along with amazing other women. From there, we continue to have business development classes with Cummings. We perfected our pitch, as well as I met with the leadership team. And so now, not only did Helena, who is an incredible force behind the initiative for this grant to be, awarded to women of color, she actually was there every step of the way. It was Helena, it was Stacy, it was Cheryl. And so they were there every step of the way to ensure that as small business owners, as women, felt supported, that we had what we needed, and that our business was being developed.
Wow. Honestly, everything that you're telling me is great. I can't believe that you were, juggling everything at once, being a student, and then also starting your business, being in the program. And I wanted to ask how have you handled the challenges that you've faced back in the day, and now that you're established and successful? And tell us about how it's been also being in the mail industry. This is completely dominated by mail industry, and one of your fortes is sustainability. So I'm curious to get into that, and tell us how it's been for you.
Being in a male-dominated industry is actually no different than me being the youngest at most of the corporations that I've worked for. So I've been in logistics industry for over 15 years. My first job, I was working as I would say for the most part, kind of a secretary, right? And so I've always had the logistical aspect component with my jobs. I've always done different types of admin work, secretarial, but then I transitioned to managing business accounts as I progressed in my education level. And so when I started to go back to school, when I decided that I wanted more for my life, I actually started to go and feel confident in going after those higher pay positions within larger governments and agencies, and then applying the skills that I learned from school to the actual job continue to have me to advance not only in salary, but also in title. And so I got confident very early on. Like I said, I was the youngest person in most of the corporations that I worked for. And so being able to navigate from people looking at me as a child to them not taking me seriously, it was not just men, it was also women. It was also my, direct supervisors would just be like, girl, go on over there, and do something else. And so I'm used to that aspect. However, I never had an ego about anything I did. I just really worked hard to ensure that I knew my role, knew my position, and I focused on my output. And so, granted, working in a team dynamic is so helpful and so beneficial. However, knowing individually what you are supposed to do, what you're supposed to thrive in, really has been a staple in me working within the logistical industry, which, yes, is a male-dominated industry. However, I don't go to meetings thinking that, oh, I'm a woman, I have this advantage. Oh, I'm a woman, I have this disadvantage. I go to the meeting presenting my best self and presenting the best capabilities for my company and organization. And even when I'm advocating for another small business, I go into that meeting with them in mind. The end goal is for everyone to be able to prosper. And so instead of thinking like, oh, I'm in a room full of men, they're not going to listen, I actually wait my turn, just like I would hope that they would wait their turn. And then I would advocate and communicate effectively.
With all the help that you've gotten over the last few years since you started your business, how has mentoring become a part of the fabric of your company? And, how are you kind of giving back now that you've learned a lot?
So mentoring is at the core fabric of our organization. One of the things that we strongly, strongly recommend is to have a mentor. The reason why is because for so long we did not have mentors. So myself and my business partner, who also doubles as my husband, we had each other. And so we didn't get into the industry with a coach or a mentor or someone kind of co-piloting the plane for us. We jumped in head first, and then if we sank, and then we arose again. And so ultimately having a mentor who is knowledgeable, who also is not just a sayer, but a doer, right? And so having that type of mentor allows you to ask them questions about their challenges and then really understand that they know the process. And that's another key thing, is having someone who has done it and can also communicate to you. I love different types of coaches, such as like Pamela Mitchell, right? Because she has a great audible that talks about pivot and pursue it, that talks about the mastering the skill of reinvention. And so for us as small business owners, we're always having to pivot. We're always having to reinvent. And myself, I've been through a lot of reinventions. I've been through a lot of pivots. Mentoring allows me to be able to not only communicate to others how I've overcame challenges, but also support them in possibly not making some of the same mistakes we've made. And with that, it allows them to have kind of a more streamlined support and knowledge of the transportation and logistics industry. Again, mentoring would have saved us if we would have had a mentor in the beginning. It would have saved us from, starting into the transportation industry and being completely taken advantage of by a freight broker. And that's why we started our logistics company, Mitchell's Logistics. And in the beginning, I like to have called it the ethical freight brokerage. The reason why is because you don't find many of them out there. And so I wanted to change that because I didn't see that, and I wanted to become that. And so mentorship became the foundation of our entire business. Not only telling individuals, hey, yes, we can dispatch your freight, we can broker your freight, but also telling them, but also, would you like to learn how to bid? Would you like to learn how to, set up your own systems and processes so therefore you can thrive and scale your business? That is my passion.
So as we draw to a close, tell us, what's the future look like for you and for Mitchell?
Yes. So the future for Mitchell's Transport and the entire Mitchell's umbrella, Mitchell's Logistics, looks very bright. So not only have we onboarded sustainable equipment into our fleet, but we also have expanded to now getting additional warehousing that allows us to diversify our clientele out in Southern California. Additionally, we have ramped up our staff. So our workforce have increased to be able to support more clients as well as to support more business owners who are looking to have their freight not just reach California, but also go abroad as well.
Can you let us know if you were to think about one piece of advice for business owners, small business owners, or someone who may be aspiring to become one, what would you say?
I would say never give up. It is not going to be easy. It is a learning curve. This is not taught. Entrepreneurship is not taught in school, right? You can go to a Ivy League school and you can get the best education, but nothing beats getting started and doing. Having hands-on experience is way more important than sitting in a classroom and learning. Oftentimes, we do so much research to where we have analysis paralysis. But what I would recommend doing is just getting started, dipping your toe into the water and having baby steps. Even if it's one task at a time, one day at a time, you will then come to realize that it was the best decision you made to be an entrepreneur and a small business owner, and to also align yourself with incredible corporate partners.
Thank you so much. Before we end this episode, Catherine, can you please tell us how can people reach out to you and be in contact and get to know more?
So you can contact me at my phone number, 415-523-4335, as well as you can go to our website at www.mitchells, that's MITCHELLS, logistics, that's LOGISTICS.com. So www.mitchellslogistics.com. From there, you would click on the contact me. We will contact you very soon, and we will be able to share with you our Pathway to Success survey, where we will see how we can support you with obtaining your next green solution certification.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
That is great. Thank you so much, Catherine.
Stay tuned until we chat again and share your story at supplierdiversity@cummins.com. We want to hear from you.